Hello, and welcome to part 2, where I talk about the bad treatment of immigrants in America. Now, I think that the reason that most people hate immigrants is it starts from when the first country was made. People didn't want other people coming in. And now, even though there are good things that could happen with immigrants, just doesn't anymore because we're so afraid. This all has to do with mostly a deeply underlying racism that a lot of Americans have. And I'm not going to say that I don't. I am one of them. I am one of those trash bag Americans that has this as a perspective. They are mistreated. They're brought into this country. They're deported. Now, throughout the Obama administration, when we had a Kenyan as president, so Kenyan, definitely Kenyan. Just in case any of you took that seriously, that was a joke. That was a joke. DACA, great thing for kids. Kids, they get to stay in America. Great idea. Amazing idea. I don't see anything wrong with this idea. Then Donald Trump comes in, he gets rid of it. I mean, okay. Racist. Then he literally creates a thing where if you come into this country, you will have your kids ripped away from you, kept in the United States, and kept in cages. Let us all have a moment of silence for that. Now, I know Donald Trump tried to get them back together. It was his fault. He was the one that did it. And he's taking none of the blame except for when he fixes the problem. Okay, whatever. If he had actually gotten them back together, then I might have been okay. But no, he didn't. He got 1 out of 3 back together. 1 out of 3 back together. That is not a solution. That is 1/3. There are still 2/3 that have not been brought together. Sorry, I just have I get really mad about this. Donald Trump, our president. Now, I hate our president. I really do. But usually I think, I usually like to give our president the benefit of the doubt. Meaning, president from a broad term. Not Donald Trump, but, everyone. All of the people that have become president. In part 1, I talked about how, I mentioned his name in a list of people that has sexually harassed women. George H.W. Bush, former president of the United States. He didn't affect his thing, but you know who also I mentioned? Donald J. Trump. DJ Trump. Up in this orange his house. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. I think that Donald Trump is the reason that immigrants are suffering. Now, I try to sugarcoat this in some places, but no, this is part 2 is the one time when I have to go on a full-out rant against our president because he is doing something fundamentally immoral by ripping away children from their parents, deporting your parents, and then keeping the kids back into the United States and keeping them in cages. In cages. I'm going to show you now a clip of him denying that he did this. And I want you to think about it.
And I'll say it very honestly, and I'll say it very straight. Immigration is the fault in all of the problems that we're having, because we cannot get them to sign legislation. We cannot get them even to the negotiating table, and I say it's very strongly the Democrats' fault. They're they're really obstructionist, and they are obstructing. The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility. Won't be. You look at what's happening in Europe, you look at what's happening in other places, we can't allow that to happen to the United States, not on my watch. For the rest of the world, you look at everything that's taking place, pick up your newspapers this morning, and you see. We want safety and we want security for our country. If the Democrats would sit down instead of obstructing, we could have something done very quickly. Good for the children, good for the country, good for the world. It could take place quickly. We could have an immigration bill. We could have child separation. We're stuck with these horrible laws. They're horrible laws. What's happening is so sad, and it can be taken care of quickly, beautifully, and we'll have safety. This could really be something very special. It could be something maybe even for the world to watch, just like they're watching our great economy, how it's soaring. They could watch this. We have the worst immigration laws in the entire world. Nobody has such sad, such bad, and actually in many cases, such horrible and tough. You see about child separation. You see what's going on there. But just remember, a country without borders is not a country at all. We need borders. We need security. We need safety. We have to take care of our people. You take a look at the death and destruction that's been caused by people coming into this country without going through a process. We want a merit-based immigration system so that Boeing and Lockheed and all of the people, Grumman, all of the people that are here today, the heads of every company, so that you can hire people on a merit base. You know they're coming in. They're people that came on merit, not based on a lottery or not people that snuck across the border. And they could be murderers and thieves and so much else. So we want a safe country. And it starts with the borders. And that's the way it is.